Tonight, only on 4029 News, we introduce you to siblings who really grow together. They grow marijuana in Oregon. It's of high interest in Arkansas because this week we will find out who will be allowed to grow medical marijuana in Arkansas. State officials will award licenses to 5 companies to open cultivation facilities, which will grow marijuana legally. Now, once it's grown, it'll be sold across the state, which is divided into these 8 zones. And the Medical Marijuana Commission will select 4 dispensaries per zone, and it hasn't been decided yet who will be able to sell it. Now, that decision will be made in April or May. And tonight, 4029's reporter Jamie Weiss takes us inside a cultivation facility in Oregon for a look at what you can expect. She's live in the studio.
We traveled to Oregon to get an inside look at this business. While Oregon now also sells recreational marijuana, they started with medical in 1998, just like Arkansas is doing now.
Jared Kaplan has a green thumb.
It's a little pungent in here.
Oh, as it should be.
For the past 10 years, Kaplan has grown medical marijuana in Eugene, Oregon. It's clear after spending a few minutes with him, it's his passion.
You know, some people think, you just take a seed, throw it in the ground, add Miracle-Gro, and you have marijuana. And essentially what I learned, over the period of time I've been doing this is it's not like that at all.
Kaplan's growing situation is very similar to what the state of Arkansas is requiring. He grows in an enclosed, locked facility.
A whole bunch of strains in here. We have Ogre Kush, Black Cherry Pie, Tangy Banana Kush. This entire table I'll just focus on is called Lottie Dottie.
Jared works in this garden every day, but he does it alongside a special person, his sister.
I think that we face the same trials as any family business, but at the same time, that's also the beauty and benefit of it, is that we are such a close-knit business here, and that's something that really, I think, is a priority for the industry.
The Kaplans may be states away, but say they understand the challenges that Arkansas will soon face in the business.
As far as growers in Arkansas are concerned, I would say the most important thing is to understand that whether it's a small garden or a large garden, strain specificity is extremely important to cater towards medicine. There are different strains that do different things, and to not get locked into the ideology that cannabis is cannabis. Weed is weed.
During our tour of the cultivation center, Jared and Anna explained that marijuana contains many cannabinoids, including THC and CBD. Those cannabinoids can create the high most people think of, although not every strain results in a high.
It would have been wonderful for us starting out in Oregon to have the years of the program in place to understand. Now we're learning about terpenes, cannabinoids, the things that really do help patients and individuals just understand the plant and understand what they need for their medicine. But that's what's so wonderful about Arkansas has states like Oregon, Washington, Colorado to look at and be able to garner all of the research that's happened.
For this product to get to the patient, it's processed and packaged.
This is a pound of Narnia ready for the market.
Then it's delivered to dispensaries across the state where it's sold to customers. It's the same process that'll happen in Arkansas once the industry is up and running.
This really does just feel like normal everyday business.
Now, of course, the cultivation and dispensary locations are under tight security, as they will be here in Arkansas. Tomorrow night, we'll be taking you inside a dispensary to see how medical marijuana is sold and what you can expect if you're a patient here in Arkansas. Live in the studio tonight, Jamie Weiss, 4029 News.
Well, the Arkansas Medical Marijuana Commission is scoring applicants to grow based on their prior experience, their operation plan, and their financial backing, as well as an impact on the community. Now, the cultivation centers will be chosen this Tuesday in Little Rock, and we'll have the latest on that announcement right here on 4029.
If you're waiting for medical marijuana in Arkansas, it is coming. Tomorrow, the state will be announcing which 5 companies will be able to legally grow it.
Who gets to sell it to the public will not be announced for a few months. 4029's Jamie Weiss traveled to Portland, Oregon for us, and this is where marijuana is already being sold legally. She takes us inside to show us what the stores could look like.
More than 200 people have applied for a state license to open up a shop in Arkansas selling medical marijuana. In Oregon, business owners who've been selling marijuana out of dispensaries since 2014 explain how it all works.
By summer, you'll see new stores popping up in Arkansas, stores that sell medical marijuana. In the business, they're called dispensaries.
And in Arkansas, when people have their medical marijuana cards, they won't just walk right into a storefront, correct?
No, you will generally, you're going to need to get checked in.
It's the first step in making sure qualified patients are the only people entering the shop. Cardholders and their caregivers will be the only customers allowed in Arkansas.
That a lot of people will come in and find that it's a very personalized experience, that they have someone that literally will listen to what they're looking for and go through every product. Like sometimes we'll spend half an hour with one person just to make sure that they get everything that they want.
And for many working in dispensaries, it's a job that's personal.
My story, personally, I actually got an isolated grand mal seizure after years and years of having seizure auras. Tried some seizure medication, changed my mood, changed my attitude, my appetite, lots of different things. And so I changed to cannabis, and I've actually been seizure-free since.
They say it's their connection to cannabis that makes their jobs more rewarding.
You know, this is a fun thing. You get to help people.
People don't know these products. So it's up to us, that onus is kind of put on us to really go in depth and really kind of pick someone's brain.
So we have chocolate, we have truffles, we have gummies.
It's a cash business that's always busy.
I was on a lot of pain medicine when I moved here, and I don't take those medicines anymore.
Martha Duff lived in Little Rock and Missouri before moving to Portland. She battled bladder cancer for more than a decade.
If we can just help that a little bit and even just give them some comfort, that's a great thing.
While every store is different, there's one thing they agree on.
Well, it's real work. It's not, you know, we just go and we buy, 100 pounds of marijuana and we put it on the shelf and it just sells. It's competitive.
Again, we probably won't see dispensaries open here in Arkansas until the summer. The next step happens in April or May when the state is expected to select who gets the license to open up a shop. We do know that there will be 8 dispensaries in our area. Jamie Weiss, 4029 News.
Now, tomorrow, the Arkansas Medical Marijuana Commission will award the 5 cultivation licenses to grow legally here in Arkansas. You'll be able to watch the announcement live on our Facebook page. All you have to do is search 4029 News.
Well, medical marijuana is now one step closer to arriving here in the state. 5 companies were selected out of hundreds of applicants to grow marijuana legally in the state. And here they are. These are the counties where the cultivation facilities would be located. 4029's Jamie Weiss was in Little Rock for today's big announcement and patient reaction.
Many came to Little Rock optimistic about the future of medical marijuana in the state. While only 5 companies were chosen to grow cannabis, they all say this is a day they never thought would come.
You know, back in 2011, we had people saying, oh, don't waste your time. This will never happen in Arkansas. Well, guess what? We proved them wrong.
Ahead of the highly anticipated Arkansas Medical Marijuana Commission meeting, a crowd, including medical professionals, gathered on the Capitol steps to stand in solidarity with medical marijuana patients.
I love my patients and I care about them, and I want them to have access to what helps them the most.
I'm really glad to see that the state has finally, mandated that we're actually able to get this medicine to the people that need it.
At today's announcement, 6 names were called who had qualified for a cultivation license, including one in Carroll County. Since one company had 2 top scores, it will have to choose one location for the facility.
Upon receipt of that letter, they have 7 days to pay a $100,000 licensing fee, post a $500,000 performance bond. They'll then be licensed and confirmed by the commission, and then the process of getting the facility ready and moving toward growing can take place.
Storm Nolan from River Valley Relief is designated as the first runner-up and is excited that one cultivation facility will be in our area, even if it isn't his own.
I think that's great. I mean, the more jobs in our region of the state, the better.
As of tonight, the medical marijuana industry is officially in Arkansas. But what does that mean? Well, we spoke to a law enforcement official in a state that already has medical marijuana. His advice to Arkansans tomorrow night only on 4029 News. In Little Rock, Jamie Weiss, 4029 News.
All right, the next step in the medical marijuana process comes late in spring when the Arkansas Medical Marijuana Commission announces the 32 dispensaries for the state. And we reached out to Osage Creek Cultivation in Carroll County today after the big announcement. Jay Truelove gave us this statement. It reads, quote, "We are excited about today's announcement and are grateful to be selected as one of 5 medical marijuana cultivation facilities for this state. We look forward to being able to bring some help to the people of Arkansas." Tonight, new delays for the companies chosen to grow medical marijuana in Arkansas. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Paige Proisey. A judge is deciding whether the process of selecting those companies was fair. 40 29's Brett Rains was the only reporter from our area inside the courtroom. He reports from Little Rock tonight.
Today, inside the Pulaski County Courthouse, attorneys for the state argued that the lawsuit should be tossed out because of sovereign immunity, which means you can't sue. Circuit Judge Wendell Griffin denied that motion, and the person who filed the lawsuit testified that all applications for cultivation facilities should be recalculated. Attorney Patrick Murphy owns Naturalist Health LLC. He testified in court that there were blatant scoring irregularities with who was chosen to receive a license to legally grow pot. His company was not one of the top 5 chosen. Murphy testified that there were also conflicts of interest between medical marijuana commissioners and 2 companies who were chosen to get licenses, Natural State Medicinals and Osage Creek Cultivations. Murphy said in court that Natural State Medicinals facility was less than 3,000 feet from a school or church and should have been disqualified. He also claimed representatives with the company owed unpaid franchise taxes. Attorneys for the Department of Finance and Administration, Alcoholic Beverage Control, and the Medical Marijuana Commission argued the claims were only speculation and that there was no collusion between the state and the companies who were chosen to get medical marijuana cultivation licenses. Now, both sides are waiting for Judge Wendell Griffin to decide the case.
Happy with how the case was presented, confident in our chances. Thank you.
The judge said he would issue his ruling in about 5 days from now, possibly by next Wednesday. But as of right now, his temporary restraining order is still in effect, preventing the state from issuing licenses for marijuana cultivation facilities. In Little Rock, Brett Rains, 40 29 News.
The licenses were set to be issued this past Wednesday. The judge says they expect the issue to eventually be taken to the State Court of Appeals.
With the arrival of medical marijuana, many parents may be towing the line when discussing with their kids how an illicit drug has many benefits but is still considered dangerous. 40 29's Paul Petit sorts through the issue with an addiction professor from the University of Arkansas.
Well, Stephanie, appreciate you being here. So I see this parallel road going where you have obviously the legalization of medicinal marijuana here in Arkansas, but at the same time you still have the National Institute on Drug Abuse talking about its dangers and as an illicit drug. As a parent of a teen or preteen, how do you navigate this road?
You know, I think the biggest thing to understand is that marijuana is still considered to be an illegal drug. According to the FDA, it's listed as a Schedule I drug. And even though it is being touted as a treatment for a number of different chronic illnesses, parents still have to be mindful of the fact that it is harmful and that it is addictive.
An Arkansas judge throws out the state's decision to issue its first licenses to grow medical marijuana. Judge Wendell Griffin ruled that the process for awarding the permits and the rankings of applicants were unconstitutional. And for hopeful patients, this decision is a major blow.
We started this 7 years ago. Many of our warriors are already gone. And we have many warriors that can't wait. How much longer are we going to have to wait before we have our medicine? And I think that's everybody's biggest fear. How much longer are we going to have to wait?
On Wednesday, Judge Griffin issued a preliminary injunction preventing the State Medical Marijuana Commission from awarding cultivation licenses. Last week, he issued a restraining order preventing the state from awarding licenses to 5 companies.